Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Jonathan. I'm not sure I can match Jonathan's energy today, but I will try. Jonathan's certainly passionate, as are Gabe and I, about working for WCB and preventing injuries and also helping you manage your claims. So my name is Trish Livingston. I'm the Director of Claims Operations in the Workers' Compensation Board, and I'm pleased to be here today to provide you with some information on how to manage a WCB claim and some highlights from our business transformation program. When an injury occurs at work, I need to do the slides, sorry. When an injury occurs at work, it's important that the worker gets medical attention immediately if required. When seeking medical attention, it's important to advise the healthcare provider that the injury occurred at work so that a report can be submitted to us. It's also the worker's responsibility to report the injury to the employer so that the employer can make the necessary report to us as well. And lastly, it's important to report the injury to us. All reports can be done by phone, fax, or online. A benefit of having an online account is that you can report and submit claim-related forms and information through your WCB online account and be able to access copies of what you've submitted. The sooner we receive the information, the sooner we can begin the steps in the process. The steps are to, as I mentioned, first report the injury and submit information to us from the worker, employer, and care provider. At that point, we'll do an assessment to determine if it is a work-related injury. If the claim is allowed, WCB will begin recovery and return to work planning with the worker, employer, and care providers on the team. Finally, WCB and the employer will provide benefits to that worker. I think I'm a slide behind here. One of the first steps to ensure that all relevant information is submitted to the WCB. The more information that can be provided at the time of notification of the injury, the sooner we can begin to facilitate recovery or return to work. Details about the nature of the injury and where medical attention was sought are important. If you have questions about the process, contact us, and we have staff here willing to assist you through the process. Making a decision on a claim can sometimes be complex. I'm sorry, I think I'm not on the right side. Making a decision on a claim can sometimes be complex. We are here to support you and help you understand our decision-making processes and policies. We are a no-fault system that manages over 25,000 claims annually. 8,000 of these claims are time loss claims, and 3,500 are considered long-term claims. About 2,000 claims turn into claims that are over a year in duration. Recovery and return to work planning is a collaborative effort among the worker, employer, care provider, and the WCB. WCB acts as a facilitator of the development of the recovery or return to work program. It's the responsibility of the worker and employer to participate in finding accommodated duties if possible. Later, I'm going to talk a bit about preventing work disability, but at this point I'd like to mention that the longer a worker is unable to work, the greater the chances the claim will turn into a long-term claim. WCB administers benefits. We issue more than earnings loss benefits depending on the medical and vocational needs of the customer. For example, WCB may cover medical treatments, prescription drugs, medical supplies, travel costs, or personal care allowances. The worker may remain on the payroll, but WCB will reimburse the employer for any lost time. If you have questions about our policies, you can visit our updated website, which has all of our policies in an easy-to-find format. WCB also provides specialized services to handle the most complex cases. In 2017, WCB established an extended services unit to provide specialized services for cancer claims, fatalities, and catastrophic injuries. In 2020, we fully launched a psych injuries unit to better serve workers with psychological health claims. WCB has also established a partnership with WorkSafe and Dr. Samra, as Jonathan has mentioned, a registered psychologist with My Workplace Health. As part of this partnership, we are developing a long-term strategy to assist employers with dealing with psychological health issues in the workplace that focuses on awareness, education, and training. WCB has been working to support the unique challenges of workers with psychological injuries. Following a decline in durations for the past 4 years, we have seen a slight increase in durations in 2022. Durations are still lower than they were 5 years ago. We saw a decline from an average of 78 days in 2017 to 70 days in 2022. This chart also compares our psychological injury durations to the durations for our overall claims, which were 39 days in 2022. We continue to focus on supports for psychological injuries and respond to the unique challenges of workers and employers dealing with these types of injuries. A stakeholder engagement event was held in December 2022, and an action plan has been developed in response, which focuses on improving awareness, training, and education, reducing the time to decision, aligning our policy better with our legislation, and exploring options to increase care provider capacity in the province. Next, I will be providing some information on our recent transformation efforts in the claims department. So, claims transformation is part of our overall business transformation initiative, and there are 3 reasons we are undertaking these changes. First, customers have told us that our processes do not meet their needs or expectations. We know that we need to provide more timely service that's easy to navigate and helps them get on the road to recovery quickly. Staff have also identified how we currently work is not always effective. They are frustrated by inefficient processes and our technology systems. Our services do not consistently incorporate known best practices to prevent work disability. Throughout our transformation journey, we are engaging our customers, workers with claims, employers, healthcare providers, and our stakeholders and own employees to help us redesign our services. They are the ones with the knowledge of our problems and the best ideas for the solutions as well. We aim to make our services more customer-centered. We want their feedback and input into what works best for them. What you see up here on the slide now is the guiding principles that we have developed that help ground us as we move through the changes and outcomes we are looking to achieve. These were developed through connections with our staff and customers to identify the principles for how we would transform our programs and services. With WCB's renewed focus to prevent and mitigate unnecessary work disability, these are just some examples of how we are changing our approach. The first principle is building trusting, respectful, two-way relationships with our customers and each other. We recognize that relationships are key to the success of our future vision, both with our customers and with our colleagues. The second principle is ensuring that each claim represents a unique individual and not just a number. Our customers told us that they need to feel like a person and not just a number. We need to be responsive to the unique needs of each individual. Our third principle is getting it right the first time and getting the right information to the right person at the right time. This is about building quality in at the source and building it into the design of our future state. The fourth principle is about reducing the length of time our customers are waiting. Timeliness is key to ensuring we provide the supports needed when our customers need us. One example is an auto adjudication model that we implemented last summer. I'll be talking about a little bit later in the presentation. But basically those simple, straightforward claims can go through the auto adjudication model. Those that fail out of established rules and criteria get routed for manual adjudication. And this means that staff have more time to spend where it's most needed with the customers that require more support. The fifth principle is minimizing handoffs within our system and ensuring that any handoffs we have are adding value to the customer experience. We'll be looking to minimize the handoffs within the system, limiting to those that are required and/or add value to the customer experience. This means that how people do their work will look different, although we haven't determined exactly what this means yet. We have heard from workers with psychological injuries that telling their story multiple times can be difficult. And we've moved in that area towards a single point of contact where someone takes a claim from start to finish. Serving customers the way they want and need to be served is the sixth principle. Meeting our customers where they are and keeping up with their expectations in terms of service. This could be things like having apps that are accessible or secure electronic information exchange. The seventh principle is maximizing the ability of employers and workers to self-serve on things like their claim status. Leveraging technology will help customers self-serve. We want to make it easy for customers to find the information they need when they need it, while still providing an option to contact us. The final principle is communicating proactively with our customers. We want to be one step ahead of our customers and proactively reaching out throughout the management of the claim. We picture that customers won't feel they need to call us, as they know what they need and what they need to know, and they are confident with the next steps in the process. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about our claims transformation initiative. We started last year in 2022 with phase 1, and I'm going to highlight 3 different projects and the results from those. The first, as I already mentioned, was that automated decision model that we implemented last summer. This will be incorporated into our future IT system. The new model reduced the percentage of claims taking 20 days or longer by 36%. Another project focused on the workers' information that we collect on their employment activities. We streamlined the form and also looked at requiring it less frequently. This reduced paper and mailing costs. It required 49% less effort by our workers and by our staff to process it, and a 38% increase in worker completion rate. And finally, we revised our initial recovery and return to work plan. We had multiple inconsistent versions that were reduced to a single consistent version, incorporated a more supportive approach, and focuses on abilities rather than restrictions. 70% of our customers surveyed felt the letter was clear and easy to understand. 78% felt the letter provided the necessary information to understand the claim process, and 75% believed WCB would be supportive based on their intro letter. Our plans for 2023 include 2 projects that I'd like to highlight today. The first is the Timeliness of Adjudication project, and the second is one that's about shifting our customer experience and preventing and mitigating work disability. Timeliness of claim decisions is critical to preventing unnecessary work disability and to ensuring the positive trajectory of a customer's recovery and return to work. Timeliness of adjudication can be impacted by gathering the right information by the right person at the start of the claim and reducing handoffs when gathering information. Our goal is that customer information will be gathered quicker and more proactively to allow for quicker decisions. Some of the other benefits include quicker payments, sooner access to treatment, earlier recovery and return to work, in other words, less work disability, a better customer experience, and increasing customers' trust and confidence in WCB. One of the things we've also looked at is how we interact and communicate with our customers at the start of a claim. We're building in more empathy and understanding, compassion, and we've already seen our customers responding positively to that. The second one that I wanted to talk about in terms of our plans for 2023 is preventing and mitigating work disability. Many stakeholders believe that being away from work after an injury or illness can decrease stress and promote healing. In reality, evidence supports that recovering at work is better for most workers. WCB's renewed focus is to prevent and mitigate unnecessary work disability. Our goal of preventing unnecessary work disability will support workers to safely remain at work while they are recovering from an injury or illness where possible, and keep workers connected to the workplace to help them get back to work as quickly and safely as possible. Our claims transformation supports this by focusing on shifting the customer experience. Some of the benefits we anticipate are improved return to work outcomes, reducing customer claims being reopened or reoccurrence by getting it right the first time, collaboration in return to work planning with the worker, care provider, and WCB, and an improved employer and worker experience. I'd like to share with you our change vision for this project. And it's something we spent some time wordsmithing carefully, and I'm very passionate about this vision as well. So our vision is that work injury can turn lives upside down. Each person's journey is unique with different challenges, fears, and unknowns. Customers may feel vulnerable, and WCB is here to support them. Our expert staff are trusted partners, guiding a team to the best possible outcome for each person's journey. So as I mentioned, those words were selected carefully. We do know that each person and each individual's experience with their injury is different. We know that they have different supports. They have different challenges and different fears, as we heard this morning from our story. And we know that WCB processes can be confusing, and we really want our staff to be seen as knowledgeable and trusted partners who can take on the facilitation of that claim and get the best possible outcome for your injured worker and for you. We expect to be giving workers back control over the outcomes of their lives and livelihoods by focusing on learning more about what's important to them, what concerns them, and helping them through their claim journey, including steps to develop a plan that will support workers and employers to take action that supports recovery and return to work. We also aim to help employers be prepared to support injured workers at the start of the claim and making sure employers know this before an incident occurs. As it relates to actions that can be taken in the workplace, this could include identifying injuries and illnesses as soon as possible, intervening earlier, collaborating on modified duties with workers, and regular respectful communications between WCB, healthcare providers, workers, and managers. The WCB's role in collaboration will involve early and ongoing engagement with the employer and worker using activation and goal-setting techniques, motivational interviewing, and establishing new processes to support the principles of transformation. Principles are centered around proactive and collaborative communication with all parties, working together to implement safe return to work plans. This is a long process, and the transformation will take years to fully implement. We have just kicked off, and it will also support further transformations once we implement our new technology systems. And finally, I just wanted to end with a shout out for NIDMAR. I know they're here in our trade booth this week as well. The Government of Canada is providing some funding to NIDMAR, the National Institute of Disability Management and Research, to support professional development in disability management. There are 4 options: continuing education, so you can take 1 class or as many as you like. There are also professional disability management designations. There's also support for assessment of workplace disability management programs. And finally, there are scholarship opportunities for the Bachelor of Disability Management program. So you can take as little as 1 class up to completing your bachelor's degree in disability management. And with that, I'm going to close off today's 101 presentation, and I think we're going to open the floor for questions.